What's up, everybody? Unrested back for another JFAQ quick out here in the sun. And I just realized there's one question that I've gotten a lot that I'm surprised I've never addressed. And that is the question about skateboarding, rollerblading, and longboarding in Japan. And it would make sense because you're actually on the move quite a bit by foot. You would actually prefer most times not to actually use a car or a truck or any other kind of vehicle on the road because traffic bottlenecks here so much. And that is actually a really good question to ask if you can skateboard, where you can skateboard and rollerblade or go anywhere. Really, with those types of, what do you call them, exports? I don't know what to call them, exports types transportation. Well, many of you may not know, but actually when I was, 20 years old, about 20, 21, I actually used to skateboard quite a bit. So I actually do have quite a bit of experience with it. If you wonder what I used to skateboard, I always used to do blank decks, usually shove it blank decks, and Spitfires and Grind Kings. So those are my whole setup if you guys ever wanted to know that. I don't really skateboard anymore, but I do plan to teach my son to skateboard. So it is a very valid question to ask me where and when can you skateboard, and is it legal in Japan? Yes and no. For the most part, you will find, number one, that roads in Japan are actually really well paved, but you would never really want to skateboard too much on major roads because of, like I said, the high level of traffic. There are a lot of back neighborhood roads because pretty much every neighborhood has roads around it. It's not just sectioned off into sidewalks. So those are usually okay places to skateboard. For the most part, unless they're close to a police station, you're not going to be stopped by anyone. On top of that, even if the police do stop you, in Japan they're not so aggressive. They may just say, hey, just don't do it here. That's it. I've never seen anybody take away a skateboard. There is one area in a place called Amemura where they really crack down on it. I think mostly because they had people who were actually really quite talented and good performing pretty hardcore tricks right in the middle of really busy intersections. And I understand it because it was actually an area for a while that was heavily traversed by skateboarders and actually has a little dip and staired area that's perfect for skateboarding and pulling off tricks. But it became such a busy area that it's kind of dangerous at this point. So as much as I'm, don't like to be a narc and I'm a cop stopper, I don't really think it was a good idea for them to be skateboarding around there, and I think they took their own privilege away. That area, if you do even try to skateboard down the sidewalk off the street, they will stop you right away and give you a barked warning, if you will. But for the most part, if you want to judge if an area is okay to skateboard in, number one, just check how heavily traversed it is. What's the actual people traffic like? If it's really low, then you'll find it's okay. In big cities like Tokyo and Osaka, where a lot of us J-vloggers live, you'll find during the day it's so busy it's almost impossible, but once things start to clear out either on night or usually Sundays things are pretty cleared out, you'll have lots of room and lots of area. And I've even seen people skateboard down in Shinsaibashi, which is actually, it's beautifully paved and tiled and everything, and it's mainly just a merchant district, but once it shuts down at night, just nobody's there because there's no point, everything's closed. And skateboarders are allowed to be there and nobody bothers them. And it's like pretty much skateboarding on an airport runway. You've got tons of room. So there is a lot of stuff that's opened. It's all about finding the right time and the right place. As for parking lots, well, parking lots are not really what you would expect as they are in Western countries. They're actually really quite small. Some only have 2 or 3 spaces. Parking garages, you'd probably get stopped by security, so that's probably not such a good idea, and the security for those are there almost 24/7. Otherwise, there's a lot of great places, there's a lot of great times. Mostly you want to stick to night or early on weekends that you can get a lot of free time and open space to skateboard. If you have more questions about that, feel free to write me. Until next time, I'm Unrested. This is JFAQ.